kaibigan, andito na naman po tayo. We're here at In My Toolbox, your weekly talk show on personal finance. Ayan naman, dito lang po sa PHLV Radio. Of course, the goal in this show is to give you financial information that you will be able to use on your day-to-day financial decisions. Siyempre, we will unbox topics that will hopefully aid you, guide you, and maybe even add to your financial tools. We will tackle important information mostly not taught in school, but of course is much needed to empower you financially. So as usual, in any idea again that will transpire in the show, always consult your financial advisors, insurance professionals, or tax consultant. Ayan. My name again, guys, is Enrico Pobre, your host. I'm a sales, marketing, and trainer, an economist, an entrepreneur, and of course, a financial professional. So if you have questions, ask them away on the chat box below. Or if you will be listening to this show on a later time, please feel free to connect with me through Facebook page In My Toolbox, or connect with me via Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, or just simply Google my name, guys, Enrico Pobre. You can get in touch with me any way, which way you would want to connect with me. Or you can email me at enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com. Ayan naman, mga kaibigan. Thank you so much for being always supporting In My Toolbox. It's been a while, you know. So we've done a lot of shows, we've done a lot of episodes, and I'm just so excited. So here's another episode for us. The question is a recession coming? So we're gonna be talking about recession proofing. Ayan naman. So well, this is just life, mga tawag natin ito, mga life hacks lang naman ito mga to. But, just talking about recession, is it possible? Well, it is possible. And not only that it is possible, it's of course scary. And everyone is wondering what will happen, if recession is going to be here. Well, this is not going to be the first time that it happened, but somehow, of course, each recession puts in a lot of emotional stress, financial stress, mental stress, and a lot of things, to people like you and me. So especially right now with inflation going on, gas prices going on, home values going crazy. My God, right? Of course, just to make sure, we always need to be prepared for whatever that will happen. Ganun naman talaga yan. For the just in cases, tawag ko dito, JICS. Ayan naman mga kaibigan, may bago tayong acronym ngayon. JICS. Ano yun? Just in cases. Ayos. Okay. By preparing for a potential major downturn in the economy, again, recession is a major downturn in the economy. Usually, they say it's a recession when when 3 consecutive months we are really in a negative. So it's actually recession. Ganun lang siya. That's how they measure it. Hindi lang po nila naisip yon, or we just feel like, okay, we're gonna say it's recession today. So it doesn't happen like that. There are metrics to make sure that we are being guided, accordingly. Syempre, so by preparing for this potential major economic downturn, syempre we might want to ask ourselves, what are we doing to fight it, or just be prepared to at least be ready when it hits us. Again, a lot of people don't prepare, minsan kasi come what may, whatever happened, que sera, whatever. But something probably that you would want to ponder right now, it's not that, it is going to happen. It is only, again, what ifs or jigs, right? So what are supposed to do? What are those things that we're supposed to do just to recession proof us? Ganun lang naman yon. In fact, not even that Even though it's not recession, some of the items that I'm going to be discussing to you, dahil nga life hacks to mga to, it can actually increase your savings, just like how we've talked about before. Kasi in this episode, we've been talking about, platforms that will aid to grow our money, protect our money, etc. But now, of course, nothing will happen, or there's nothing to start off if we don't have number one, income. Before you even go to that level of putting money aside, etc., you have to have an income. Or if it's actually, if you don't have enough income, of course, you have to think of what increasing the income, or, make money out of your expenses, or, or cutting your expenses, what have you. Anything that will increase your cash flow. Okay, so for just in cases again, and for this topic today, how to recession proof us, of course, we're going to be talking about items that will help us increase our cash flow. A good example here that says here, cancel your car insurance. No, what could cancel car insurance? No, it's not really canceling it. The reason why is what you would want to think of is my car insurance overpriced? Isa yun sa, those are one of the things that we always pay month in, month out, of course, because without car insurance, we cannot drive the car, right? So we have to ask ourselves, hey, let's look at this. In fact, in my own profession, guys, whenever I go to my clients, we always look for found money, or we call it found money, or we find ways on how to increase cash flow by looking into their financial needs analysis. Because I have to look at ways on how to, of course, whatever purpose that, we're talking about, but mostly it's to savings and increase their cash flow. Ganun naman yun. So now, probably one of them is, look at your car insurance. It might be it might be an overpriced car insurance already. And especially if you have had this car insurance for a long time with the same company, I'm pretty sure, you might want to start looking for another company that may be able to give you a lower car insurance. So because the reason why is very, it's very, very simple. If you lower your car insurance, that savings that you will be having will actually increase your cash flow. That's what it means, And then just looking for something that is much better. So there's a lot of companies out there, guys, that you might want to look at, especially online. That's what's so good about companies that offers like a broker, because they have so much numbers of companies on their that they are contracted with. They can actually shop around for you. Don't just go stay to a certain company and just be there forever. Because number one, if you stay there for so long, probably you have not really shopped around. Number two, there's a lot of things that can happen when you shop around. Number one, learning what it is out there, what's new, what you're missing. Kasi minsan we're lazy to look at those things. But in fact, if we just give ourselves a chance, you might be seeing yourself increasing your cash flow just because, Number two, don't overpay when you shop online. Because, shopping online has its perks. But, I shop online, I do that because it's super convenient. But, it can be time consuming as well to find the best deals. Sometimes you only choose for, usually you're used of choosing only for between two brands. Now, because you're shopping online, you can see a lot of brands from two, probably you'll be considering about 20. So that's one thing that you would want to look at. But, shopping online will actually give you a great deal, especially about coupons, diba? Some people are into coupons that will actually give you a lot of discounts. But of course, it's not always going to work, but it's actually a good thing to start off, just to open the doors for you to find all of these companies that maybe will be able to give you better prices, especially saving online, So you look also for those credit cards, Credit cards, if you are into credit cards, well, I'm not really a fan of credit card, but if you are, looking into credit cards, you might want to look at those credit cards that, hey, for example, they put it into ad. You pay no interest until December 2023. I'll take it, because there's no interest. That's the only thing that differentiates between your cash money and using a credit card. It's what? It's the availability of funds that you don't have, plus the interest actually that it's going to give you. But imagine if it's zero interest up until December 2023, basically you're looking at about and 18 billing cycles with zero interest on a balance, So, minsan, if you are able to do that, what you would want to do, get also the balances of the other credit cards and put it there. I'm telling you, you're going to be dramatically changing your financial picture if that can happen, if you are able to look for one. Of course, I know there's going to be some other credit card companies out there that does that. All you have to do is to just go out there and look for those, and it will work for your favor. Ganun lang naman yan. All right. So, and of course, just by transferring the balance, using whatever the balance that you have, you start buying stuff with zero interest. I bet you it's going to be making you a lot of savings out there. Prepare for market volatility. Papaano? By diversifying with gold. Some people go to gold because gold is a very strong what do you call this, investment platform. It is actually investment platform for precious metals. Kasi stock market volatility can be financially damaging, especially nowadays. I don't know about you guys. Have you guys looked at your 401k or whatever mutual funds that you have for the last 2-3 months? Have a quick look at that. By the way, on the side note, guys, this is what I always tell my clients about power of loss. For what does power of loss means? When you lose 5% into your market, you have to ask yourself, how much interest do I need to get back to just break even? Most people that I found out that, whenever asked this question, they say, oh, I need 5% to get back too. Regrettably, it doesn't work like that. For example, if you lose 5%, you have to have at least 7.5% to break even. What? Oo naman. Kasi you already lost the money. To gain it back, you have to have more interest or gain just to break even. Ganun yun. For example, 25%, you lost 25%. So, how much do you need to get back to break even? So, it's about 33%. Ganon. What? 33%? Yeah, you didn't gain. You didn't gain more than 25%. It's just, you just need that number to break even, to get back where it was before. So of course, relatively, if you lose 50%, you need 100% to break even. So for example, if you lost 50% today or the last 2 months, you need to get back 100%, before you break even and not earning more, just to break even. Let me ask you a question, guys. When was the last time the market went back to 100%? That's exactly what it means. So that's, in the market volatility, that's actually what's happening. So you have to look for a platform, number one, that you can diversify. Number two, that has at least a zero market risk. Yes, there are actually platforms out there that has zero market risk. You just have to go out there and look for those, Let me just give you an example. Probably a cash value life insurance can be that, People are thinking about the cost of insurance that they're paying, but they actually don't know the saving portion can actually give you a zero market risk, So you may want to talk to your life insurance agent about that. That's a good tip for you there. But just going back to diversifying it, to avoid the market volatility, you can actually, put your retirement plan even. You can roll it over to a gold, or you can buy gold, because, this investment seems to be very solid if you buy precious metals such as gold. Because, again, gold values and values that are inversely correlated with the stock market and the dollar. So opposite niya yan. So when one goes down, the other one usually goes up. So that's another thing to prepare yourself for what you call this recession. So there are a lot of clients, there are a lot of companies out there, but you have to look for a good one, a reputable one, a strong one with regard to dealing with golds. So again, just do your research. In as much as I would want to help you, of course, I don't know where you are, but we can give lists of good companies and great companies that can actually help you out with gold. Now for asking or looking for companies, another thing for recession proofing, looking for companies that that will help you pay off your tax debt. Again, for a lot of people, I bet you, has a lot of tax debt today, and tax debt is overwhelming. I know that. Can you imagine? When you owe money to credit card alone is already overwhelming. Now, especially now, you're talking about taxes and IRS is in your butt. Man, I'm telling you, it weighs on your mind and could cause you massive anxiety. It will not make you sleep, or just being so concerned every day that you wake up before you sleep. Well, it is really, really a problem if you have tax debt. You end up emotionally and physically drained from it. And it's even worse now when the IRS starts to call you or send you letters about wage garnishments and huge fines. But what's the good news is there's always going to be great companies that are willing to help you out there to to help you with your this tax debts, and that's also this tax relief that I'm talking about can also what help you, put yourself in position that recession proof, so that's exactly, guys, those are the things that I would want to for you to think of, just part of becoming a recession proofing your finances. And another thing, I was talking about shopping kanina, so savvy shoppers might be the masters in coupon, or buying with the budget. And I know, of course, but those are not the only ways on how to save on money, especially those people who love to shop, right? You just have to take advantage of some life hacks, as I was mentioning to you a while ago. I mentioned about 5 kanina siguro, and you're actually going to essentially leaving free cash on the table if you're not going to be learning some life hacks. Siyempre, when you're looking at some life hacks, you're gonna have a little effort that you have to put in. Siyempre naman, guys, right? If you would want to gain on something, you have to put on something. You cannot. It cannot be a case of doing nothing and you still gain something, So, of course, you just have to have a little effort and, of course, a bunch of creativity as well. And that will be able to cut you hundreds and even thousands of dollars a year from budgeting. And of course, I would want to give you some of these life hacks that I found out that will actually help you more. Recession proofing pa rin ang ating topic, right? Number 1, scan your grocery receipts for cashbacks. Oh, di ba? Have you been doing that? I don't know. Myself, I'm actually not doing it, but it's gonna be worth doing it if we scan this groceries. Grocery receipts for cashback. In fact, whenever you go to CVS, Walmart, when they ask you, do you like receipt? Yes, I would like the receipt. There's a lot of receipts coming out, and I was telling them, I only bought one mint, and you're giving me this long of a receipt, right? And the reason why, because there's a lot of discounts written in that receipt, and you can save money on those, So I would be suggesting you to start scanning all this using some smartphone apps. I think, just even taking a picture of that. Definitely, this will give you cashbacks on your grocery purchases, So $1, $2, $3, $5, man, it will add up before you even know it. You can actually get a free groceries eventually, right? So number 2, buy prescription drugs at Costco. You can actually buy prescription drugs at Costco without a membership. So usually this membership warehouses like Sam's Club, Costco's, BJ's, and they have very good prescription drug prices. And you do not even have to be, you correct me if I'm wrong, I know you don't even have to be a member to buy them, yung mga itong prescription drugs. So take advantage of that. What I know is the Costco thing, they have low prices on doctors prescribed medicines without shelling out the $60 or more, to join a club. So maganda yon. So that's one thing. You can actually, teka lang. I remember, guys, when I was going out, actively doing my business, of course, I'm a financial professional. I go out there, I talk to them about life insurance, talk to them about health insurance, etc. And before you get all those products, you have to qualify first. It doesn't mean that you want it, you can get it. You have to qualify it. And the qualifiers, of course, most of the time is the health issue. And then I'm gonna ask them, okay, so what pre-existing conditions you have, etc., and what medicines that you have. I remember one time, guys, right? I was talking to this lady, not for anything. I just want to make sure that you understand this on how to save this, because some of you might say, okay, I don't even have prescriptions yet, wala pa ngayon. But this lady, she actually brought a backpack in front of me. So, and I still ask her, so what prescriptions do you have? She opened up the backpack and you start pulling out all of this medicines, a lot of them inside the backpack. And I called them, hey, and then I told her, because she's my friend, and I was telling her, I'm not asking for a pharmacy. But what I was trying to point out here, guys, that can save you a lot of money, for your prescription, if you just be smart enough in going to all of this warehouses like Costco, get a lower interest rate with a balance transfer. This is exactly what I was talking to you guys about a while ago. Opening up a credit card or balance transfer your credit card to a smaller interest rate, because you've been racked up with high interest credit card debt. So you might want to look for, somewhere that you can actually transfer it. That's an easy way to cut cost and potentially, guys, save you big, give you big savings, by doing that balance transfer. If you have not done it, so, again, talk to your financial professional or your banker, see if this is a good approach for you. It might even help you a lot, right? With that balance transfer strategy. Okay. Another thing that we found out is, especially if you have kids in your house, and then you use a lot of printers, and inks of these printers can be expensive. Do you guys agree with me on that? Yeah, it is actually, So in fact, printers are free. The inks are the one that you're buying sometimes, right? So what you need to do when you have a printer, this is a very simple life hack. If your printer is out of black ink, if it doesn't have, or much, it doesn't have a lot of black ink already, you just have to change the text color to dark blue, and you'll be able to print a couple more, before purchasing another refill, right? Or in addition, this is a good trick, guys. In addition, when you actually print something in your house, especially with a lot of text, you would want to avoid those thick. Again, you would want to avoid those thick fonts. You won't want to use the small fonts or a slimmer fonts like Arial or Courier. These are what you call smaller or slimmer fonts. So you will not be spending so much of the black ink. Ayan, di ba? So I don't know if you guys have even thought about that, but I say, yeah, why not? Anything that will help me save. Again, another thing that I can give you is you can actually ditch your low interest savings account. If you're still using your first savings account, again, if you're still using your first savings account, probably 20, 30 years ago, still the same savings account, chances are you're getting a low interest rate, because you've been there for a long time. So there are actually some high yield interest rate savings account out there that you can check. Definitely it should be higher than your old account. Annual percentage yield is higher. And that's where you should be putting your savings account. And that will actually give you a better return than what you currently have. That's something that you would want to consider. Okay, I'm not fond of I'm not a fan of a gift card, but try to shop with discount gift cards. That's another thing. Want to get a cheap or this gift cards, you go to website that sells discounted gift cards. So there are indeed websites out there that sells discounted ones. So that can save you money again. Again, this is an additional workload for you just to get that extra savings. Well, that's what we do anyway. We get extra hours to work, just to get that extra dollar. So, why not do it a little extra mile there to go to websites that has gift cards, discounted ones. And of course, you buy them for less of their remaining value. So what you do, stock them up, use them instead of cash for your future purchases. I think that's a good strategy on how to get all of these discounted gift cards. Okay. Another thing that I think is going to be very useful to recession proof you carry cash instead of credit card. Because the research shows that if you pay in cash rather than a credit card, you will actually spend less. This is just basic psychology, right? So just make sure that you use your cash, not your credit card. So the tendency, as the research said, that you will be spending less. So of course, if you want to take this step a little bit further, what you want to do when you carry cash, you carry the bigger bills or the larger bills, 50s or the hundreds, which are hard to break See, there's psychology there again too, right? So get the bigger bills cash on your pocket so it will be harder to break. So it will keep you from making impulse purchases. Yung mga, especially, we were actually impulse buyers, right? So instead of, oh, that's cheap anyway, so here it is, right? But if it's actually a bigger, larger bill, you will have second thoughts, okay? Another thing, skip the rental car insurance. When you go travel, of course, you would want to, rent a car, and a lot of private auto insurance anyway, and many major credit cards, they can actually provide coverage for rental cars. So you don't even have to buy extra, auto insurance when you borrow, when you have a rental car. And especially now, if it is for personal use instead of business, it will actually save you a lot of money there. And of course, you just have to make sure that you check your policies, right, to make sure. But chances are, you can actually save money on car rentals and skip the expensive insurance coverage that they actually offer you. Why do you think they offer you so much, additional items outside just the rental of the car itself? Of course, it's all about making money for them, right? Now, another thing, I did this one, and it actually is great to do this, especially for the daddies out there. Make a DIY cleaner. What's a do-it-your-own cleaner? You can make an inexpensive all-purpose household cleaner. Paano yun? It's actually very simple. Just make sure that you have a heat-resistant glass container. You can use that. When you eat what do you call this? Mga citruses, mga lemons. You can actually you peel those and then you put it inside. You boil it with water. Equally water and vinegar. You boil it for a while. When it actually boils, you cover it and put it aside for 1 week, and then after that, use it after a week and you have a DIY cleaner. Again, ang galing, ano? So, yung mga pinagkakainan natin mga citrus, put it into a container, boil it, put water in it equally with vinegar, and then, of course, strain it first. Get the liquid, keep it for a week, and start using it. I'm telling you, you have a DIY cleaner. So, it will save you. How much is, Enrico, it's only $5-6 anyway. A bigger one is about $10. Well, how many times do you buy that in a month? If that's $30 in a month, in a year, if you have 3 in a month or 2 in a month, in a year, that's about $240, about $300 already of savings in a year. And that's just one item I'm talking to you guys about. So I'm just telling you guys, recession is one thing, but recession proofing is another thing. So you just have to make sure that you guys are going to put a little bit of a discipline out there, and of course intentionally doing it. I'm telling you, you will find a lot of things that you never thought that you actually have just because, So save by using a clothesline. Yeah. During the old time, I grew up with that, just putting a clothesline for drying our clothes. In fact, when I was growing, I didn't even know what a dryer machine is, right? So because I'm so used of that clothesline, you just have to hang your shirt there or whatever you put into laundry, and it dries as an air dry. So just going back in time, and it may be old fashioned, but I'm telling you, it's gonna save you anyway. And for the drying your clothes in drying machine, that's about $10 an hour. So how many times that you can save? How many times do you do that in a week? Say for example, that's once a week. That's $40 in a month. You multiply that by 12. That's $480 in a month already that you're saving, just because you hang dry your clothes. That's a good money. And a while ago, we were talking about $300 over there. To save, that's almost $1,000 already savings just talking about 2 items. You actually have the capacity to increase your cash flow, guys. You just have to be intentional. Number one, learning all of these life hacks, and you are recession proof. So And of course, I'm just not talking about recession proof here. I may even say that you can start saving for a better retirement just because you are able to what? You're smart enough, and intentionally doing all of these life hacks that will actually increase your cash flow. So find alternative payment methods for big events. Well, if you are a person who loves to goes to big events like weddings or vacation, but it's really hard to fund them. So, well, I don't know how you're going to be getting those funds, but what you would want to do is to find alternative payment methods for paying those big events. Go to a credit card again with zero interest rate or APR. You can pay the balance over time without the interest. All of these things you might want to position yourself correctly. Because it's hard to find funds, extra funds or disposable income on that matter. And of course it can because of that it will be tempting really for us to use credit cards here, borrow money there, money that we don't own. Well, if you're going to be doing it anyway, go get yourself a zero interest credit card again that you just have to pay whatever principal or balance that you have without the interest over time. There you go. So you still enjoyed it anyway. Get an extra potato for free. When this is about a produce that I'm talking about, a pre-bagged produce, like a 10-pound bag of potatoes or onions or apples, whatever. These things that you see in the grocery, they always weigh the bags before selecting the one that you want to purchase. So the weight marked on the bag is the minimum required by law. And some of them, right? Some of these bags will likely weigh higher. So even though guys that it will cost time, you look for the one that this actually has a more volume, right? With the same cost. See, you can actually get that. You just have, it's just an additional work for you when you go to groceries. Just try to weigh it anyway. So I'll get it. I'll do it. So another thing too, guys, is about your bathroom. You want to know if there's a leak on your what do you call this? Your toilet. Okay. So what people do, they get a Kool-Aid. Okay. They pour it into the toilet bowl. So now, of course, the Kool-Aid should be the dark color ones. You get the grapes or the strawberry and put it into your toilet, and don't flush it for an hour. So you just keep it there. Now, when the toilet bowl, the water in the toilet bowl, when the water changes color, like becomes lighter, you know that you have a slow leak that's wasting water for you. And of course, when you waste water, you're also wasting money. Ayan. Kaya ano iniisip niyo pagdating sa banyo eh. That's what just I want to talk about, just to make sure that your toilet bowl doesn't have any, leak. And just by answering that leak, guys, it will save you money that you don't know. So of course, you can usually find this people that actually does it, but it's again additional labor. But finding out first in the beginning stage will actually save you money. Skip the shopping cart. Oh, this is actually kind of tough. For men, probably this is easy. For me, whenever I go to the groceries, I only go there when I need something. So I don't even get a shopping cart whenever I go. So I only use my hands and whatever that I can carry. That's it. So what I'm trying to say here, you skip the shopping cart. It's the same thing as what I'm doing. When you run into the grocery store to pick some few items, don't actually bring a shopping cart. Just use whatever, your arms, your hands, because when you actually have a shopping cart, instead of just getting the things that you only need, you will end up getting the things that you think that you need, but you actually don't need. So you will actually see yourself saving money by that, because a lot of us are impulsive buyers. Oh, I remember. Oh, I want this. Oh, I think this is going to be good. So before you know it, you actually fill up your shopping cart already. So again, if you do skip the shopping cart part, you'll be less likely to buy things that you didn't intend to buy. And of course, you don't actually need. So it will save you money. Okay. So can you imagine you buy things, oh, I'm going to use this for next month, that you actually bought it right now? That might be, good in some other cases, but in most cases, that will actually increase your cash flow, for an item that's sleeping, that you actually need your cash flow to increase your cash flow today. So another thing, ask for upgrades. Don't book them in advance. So what do you mean by this? When you actually go for a vacation, and you would want to upgrade your vacation for free, that's a good thing. It's a savings too. See, you actually reserve a standard rental car, or a hotel room, and then when you actually go there, just politely ask them, can I ask for a free upgrade, please, when the time that you arrive? And most people, well, I travel a lot, and it actually works, guys, So if one is available at the time that you ask them, bam, it's a pretty easy score, So ask for upgrades. No, sometimes when I go travel, of course, whenever I go to for example, out of state, I fly. I see myself, especially if I checked in late in Southwest, you go to C number 56. My God, everybody is seated already. And of course, you'll end up getting the bad seats of the plane. So what I do is I go in front of the what do you call this beautiful people that's going to help me change my seat from C56 to A1. But you have to pay for those, So what I'm just trying to say here, with regard to, of course, you would want to be comfortable when you fly, but what I'm trying to say here is that you can actually ask for free upgrades. If they don't give you, well, at least you tried. But mostly on hotels and rental cars, it actually works. For airplanes, it sometimes does happen, especially if the flight is not filled up, really. So you can actually get those upgrades. There's nothing bad to ask. You won't get if you don't ask, Instead of paying those extra $50, if you fly, 6 times a year, that's $300 already. So, you can add up the numbers that I'm telling you right now, guys, that you can save on. Well, I think we're getting somewhere, right? Get a closer, cheaper shave. When your multi-rack disposable razor, the one that we use, right? And it actually starts to get dull. What you want to do, I don't know if you guys are doing this, try to push the blade. Try to push the blade a dozen of times or more than, as long as you know that it will all be balanced already. You will actually the goal there is to really realign those razors, right? And of course, when you actually realign it, you'll be surprised. You can actually use it for 2 or more, 3 more times. So I don't know if you've done that. I've been doing it, and it's actually working. And speaking about shaving too, guys, I know we like to have those shaving creams. It's good to have those, because it really feels smooth, But of course, if you want to save, how much are those, right? $5-10. And how many times do you use that in a year? 2 of those or 3 of those in a year? That's $30 already. Well, it's still savings for me, So I'll be using, probably, if I don't, because I already tried this one at one time that I didn't have one. I use soap to do that. Well, this bath soaps can actually do the work, It can still clean. It can still be smooth anyway. Just in case you would want to try it, you can actually do it, So, or this is another thing, guys. Speaking about laundry a while ago, that you can actually increase your savings. Zip the pants. Again, zip pants before washing it. I don't know if you guys are doing it. I've been doing it. I zip the pants when I put it into the laundry. Because the reason behind it, the metal of the zipper, you see that, right? The metal of the zipper, when you start to to wash it, I'm telling you guys, that those zipper, I call it the teeth of those zipper, it can actually ruin other clothes that you have. It could end up tearing up other clothes. especially those expensive clothes that you have, So, have you actually seen yourself? You have this favorite shirt that you just bought, but it's expensive, whatever. You put it there and it didn't good after the wash. You feel so bad about it. And one way to get rid of those things that's happening, that can be just zip all of those, whatever. Sometimes, there are pants that, of course, zippers. There are shirt that has zippers, whatever. You just zip it, not zip it, that zip it. All right. Okay. Save rainwater, installing a rain barrel. I don't know if you guys have done this one, but when I was growing in the Philippines, we were doing this. Well, we install a rain barrel. We put water, especially in Metro Manila. When I was growing, water was really, really scarce in during my time. So we put a rain barrel. This is going to be providing water for what? Not only for taking a bath. In fact, you can use that, but watering the lawn or your garden. It can save you tons of money just because you're actually putting that rainwater in a barrel and you start washing. That's actually what you call water conservation. Have you heard of that before? Of course we did. So that's one way of water conservation. Not only that, you're conserving water, it's an eco-friendly way, and a lot of municipal government are now offering tax incentives because of that. How about that, guys? Now, if you know how to get all of these tax incentives, bam, that's another savings for you. You saved on water, you took care of your lawn, and then you also have your tax incentives just because of what? Intentionally looking for ways and means on how to save. Now, basically, guys, this can be what? A recession-proof already. I'll take it anytime. How about you guys, right? Ganun lang yon. You just have to make sure, guys, that you are intentional in making things happen for you. Not just, I don't have a way already. But in fact, you do have a way. It's just that, number one, you have to have the desire to do it. Number two, you have the intention to do it. And it's going to happen, okay? So, again, guys, these are things that's very, very, probably light for you, but it will actually help you save a lot of money. Another thing that it reminded me of a friend of mine, they actually sync their sleep schedule with daylight. That is actually so true. I had a friend long time ago. I never thought that it was actually going to be something that I'm going to be talking about today, because they adjust their sleep schedule to better coincide with daylight hours. Why? Because they actually allow themselves to save on daily electrical usage. How about that, guys? That's what they do, because they are intentional on what? On saving money. They adjust. Well, of course, it's not going to be applicable to everybody, right? But at least if it is going to be applicable to you, why not, And that's one thing that they do. They sync their sleep schedule with daylight. Save on gym membership. I remember my uncle said, "What? You're paying gym membership?" Yeah, that could have been a savings for you. I know. Not everybody is the same mindset when we think about gym membership. But just allow me, guys, to explain what it means. Because some health insurance, there you go, some health insurance plans offers, reimbursements, yon, that's what I mean, or gym discounts. Or discounts for gym membership. That's what I mean, guys. In fact, there is a health insurance that for employers. Look at this, guys. There are health insurance for employers that they give you discounts. Not only discounts, it actually increases your net pay just because they let you read some documents on wellness. Can you imagine that? They have a way, they offer you discounts or savings, increase your net cash take-home pay if they see you that you're actually studying ways at least once a month on how to take care of yourself. See? That's savings for you as well. It increases your net pay income, right? Not gross, net pay income in a year. So, you have to, you have to check what if you have that in your benefits in your employment. But there are companies that offers like that. So again, check your insurance provider to see if this is available, or if it is available, if you are eligible to do this. So that's a good thing, guys, to understand, because we're talking about increasing cash flow, recession proofing for yourself, and of course, not only that, if you keep on doing that, even though it is not recession, you have a way now to increase your cash flow. Thus, what? That actually funds that you save, you redirect it to what? The retirement plan, or savings, or emergency funds. We talked about all of those for so many episodes ago. That the problem always in creating all of these things is what? Income, not just an income, but a disposable or discretionary income. There you go, guys. If your problem really is to have this extra income to fund all those, I think this life hacks will always be there to assist us, including me, to increase those cash flow. Be prepared with options for unexpected expenses. Pretty much a lot of us, we face unexpected expenses. It happens. It just happens. That's life. So whether you have what are those? Medical emergency, or you need to go home to the Philippines, you need repairs for your car, just like a good friend of mine, air condition just got busted of his car. And, I told him, well, you have to have somebody who's an expert to do this. Well, you just have to have a choice. Go to to a car dealership or service area, or go to somebody that, that knows it anyway, just to diagnose it. And you might see yourself saving money out of that. So, but this, either way, is still unexpected expenses for you. So if you're lucky, you'll have enough money saved up to pay for all of these expenses. But I don't think so that's the case for everyone. That's the reason why I was I'm an avid fan of of emergency funds, because this is the time that you will need all of these emergency funds for unexpected expenses, for the just in cases, the jigs, right? So, and I don't think that everybody are in that position today. That's why it's important to plan today for what you would do if you were able to hit by those unexpected expenses. And of course, expenses that you will not be able to afford. Because if you're not prepared to do this, guys, it's going to slash out all of those savings that I told you about. If you ever did, you save about what? $1,500 by now. But, just because of unexpected emergencies, bam, it flashes it out, and back to zero we are. Okay? So, another thing, insulate your outlets. Stop heat loss, and draft with inexpensive, easy to install foam insulating gaskets on the back of electrical wall switches and outlets. This is not something that I'm very knowledgeable about. But if anything that will save money, I'm gonna ask somebody who's actually expert to this one, how to insulate these outlets. I'll be part of it, but right now, guys, I just don't, have the capacity to understand that. But I'm willing to learn how it's going to save us money using that insulation to the outlets. If you guys know that, let me know, please. Again, on the chat box there, or message me if you know how to understand that part. Okay, so make a slow cooker humidifier. Again, humidifier, my God, we need this, Cooking more meals at home in a slow cooker will save you some major bucks. That's what it means, Make a slow cooker humidifier. But you can also use this, slow cooker in a very different way. Humidifier to add humidity to the air and stretch the heat for your home. Ginagawa ba natin yon? Dati lang kasi when I do, nagsusukob lang ako eh. That's the only thing that I know about it. But of course, it just makes sense, just open the lid and let it boil. Just put it in a slow cooking mode. and you have this humidifier already in your house. But of course, some of you will might even think, okay, I'll be spending electricity when I do that, spending gas whenever I do that. Okay, do the math. Let's see which is actually more efficient in saving money. All right. So now again, you make sometimes I remember my kids right now. They're with their grandma today, and they always make fun with each other. Have fun with each other. So by doing that, some grandma has this electric tea kettle. So paano ba tawag natin doon? Takuri ba tawag natin doon? But the fact is, of course, Granny knows best. When boiling just a small amount of water in an electric teapot is the most economical method compared to the microwave or the stovetop. And of course it's more quicker. I actually understand that, because I used that a lot before when I was in the Philippines. I have this electric tea kettle. It actually boils so fast, and I don't know how it works, but it does do the job. If you're using a tabletop stove, electricity or gas on that matter, it will actually, you will, before it boils, you're actually spending so much already. But because of this electric tea kettle, I'm telling you, it's actually fast and it does the job anyway. So guys, there's a lot more with regard to our life hacks. But the whole thing about the item today that we're talking about is about recession proofing. We're so afraid of the recession because, recession really is a possibility. It can happen. It is probable. It is plausible. And of course, because of that, it is actually scary. I don't know if everybody of us here already experienced what a recession is, but, some might even know that it's actually recession. And there's no idea of to tell ourselves that, oh, I'm hit by a recession. But nonetheless, guys, it's something that economically the country is actually is in a downturn, and eventually the effect of the recession today, it may not hit you, but the effect of the recession that will come in the next month, 2 or 3, or the next quarter is where you start feeling it. Especially if recession hits you, consecutive recessions, that's a different story, So again, the question is, everybody's wondering what will happen if recession hits, Instead of wondering it, why not prepare yourself today, guys, to recession-proof already your finance? To be able to do that, I just gave you some life hacks, things that you can do, to recession-proof yourself. Of course, there's so much more that we can do to recession-proof ourselves. But just with regard to what we can do immediately, start looking at those life hacks that I actually mentioned to you. Especially right now, just as I mentioned, inflation, gas prices and home values, prices of homes are just going crazy. What else? Things that you used to buy before, it used to be $1, now it's $4. How much are eggs today? We have to prepare ourselves, guys. It's better to prepare, what's coming, whether we use it or not. At least, it's a win-win situation for us. By preparing ourselves for this potential economic downturn again, which can happen anytime. Or in fact, we are in it at the moment, and it will actually be making you strong, and it's going to be making you wiser, and you're actually protecting your family. So that's just it, guys, for our topic today, for our episode talking about recession proofing. There's a lot, in fact, that we actually talked about. Okay, so just with regard to that, here again is in my toolbox, giving you all of those life hacks, recession proofing. My name again is Enrico. Up until to our next episode, magandang gabi, mga kaibigan. Woohoo!